In 1886, Robert Louis Stevenson wrote about a man who drank a potion to separate his good side from his dark side. He called it The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Today, we don't need a potion. We have a screen. Everyday citizens, fathers, teachers, students log onto the internet and say things they would never whisper in real life. They commit fraud, they harass, they hack. Why? What is it about this glowing rectangle that turns off our conscience? Welcome to Human Error. Today, we are diagnosing the Online Disinhibition Effect. This isn't just about mean comments on social media. We're talking about a fundamental shift in human behavior, a digital transformation of our moral compass. Think about it. A respected community member, a loving parent, a brilliant student in the real world, they follow the rules. They're kind, considerate. But behind the anonymity of a screen, a different persona emerges. One that is aggressive, impulsive, and sometimes outright criminal. It's a modern-day Jekyll and Hyde story playing out millions of times a day across the globe. How does this happen? How does a simple piece of technology have such a profound impact on our psychology? The answer isn't in the code or the hardware. It's in us. The internet doesn't create a new darkness. It simply gives our existing darkness a new place to hide. To understand this phenomenon, let's use an analogy I call the brake pedal theory. Imagine you're driving a car. In the physical world, your behavior has a set of built-in brakes. These brakes are powerful, automatic social cues. Things like making eye contact with another person, hearing the subtle disappointment in their voice, seeing their facial expression change from happy to hurt. Even the very real, very primal fear of immediate physical consequences, like getting punched in the face for saying the wrong thing, acts as a powerful deterrent. If you insult a stranger in a bar, your brain, honed by millions of years of evolution for social survival, screams danger. Adrenaline floods your system. You hit the brakes. You stop. These social mechanisms are what keep society functioning. They're the invisible guardrails of civilization. Now let's take that same car and put it on the information superhighway. The internet effectively cuts the brake lines. Psychologist John Suler, a pioneer in this field, identified several key factors, but one of the most powerful is what he calls dissociative anonymity. When you're online, especially under a username that isn't your real name, you start to feel like your digital self is a separate entity. It's a character you're playing. It's not you typing that horrible threat. It's GamerGod420. It's your avatar. The screen creates a psychological distance, a buffer between your actions and your sense of self. You feel invisible, and when you feel invisible, you feel unaccountable. The immediate, visceral feedback loop is gone. There's no one to look you in the eye. There's no change in tone to register. It feels like a game, and in a game, the rules of reality don't always apply. This detachment isn't just about being anonymous. Suler also talks about invisibility. Even if you're using your real name on a platform like Facebook, you can't be seen. You're typing in your home alone. This physical invisibility gives a sense of freedom. You can go places, say things, and do things you wouldn't if you were physically present. Another factor is asynchronicity. Conversations online don't happen in real time. You can post a comment and walk away. You don't have to deal with the immediate reaction. This time lag allows you to craft a response without the pressure of a face-to-face encounter, and it also lets you escape the immediate emotional fallout of your words. You throw the digital rock and run away before you can see where it lands. And this isn't just a theory that applies to internet trolls hiding in their basements. It's a critical component in understanding serious, white-collar, and even state-sponsored crime in the digital age. We're talking about massive financial fraud, industrial espionage, and devastating acts of sabotage. The principle is exactly the same, just scaled up. Think about the classic image of a criminal, a thief snatching a purse. To steal a purse from an old lady on the street, you have to confront her. You have to see the fear in her eyes. You have to physically overpower her or use the threat of violence. It is a visceral, stressful, and deeply personal act. Your brain registers it as a direct conflict. But what about stealing that same woman's life savings through a sophisticated phishing email? The act itself is sterile. It's just clicking a mouse, typing on a keyboard, and manipulating numbers on a spreadsheet. The criminal is likely sitting in a comfortable office, maybe hundreds or thousands of miles away. They never see the victim. They never hear her cry. They never have to witness the devastating real-world consequences of their actions: the lost home, the ruined retirement, the shattered trust. The technology sanitizes the crime. It strips away the human element, reducing a person's life and livelihood to a string of data. The guilt is abstracted away. It's much easier to ruin a life you never have to look into. This sanitizing effect is a breeding ground for what psychologists call moral disengagement. It's a process where we convince ourselves that ethical standards don't apply to our actions in a particular context. The hacker might tell themselves, "It's not stealing. It's just a puzzle. I'm just testing their security." The online fraudster might rationalize, "They were foolish enough to click the link. They deserved it." The technology provides the perfect environment for these self-deceptions to flourish. The lack of social cues, the physical distance, the perception that it's all just a digital game, it all works together to dismantle our natural empathy and our moral reasoning. It allows an otherwise ordinary person, someone who would return a lost wallet on the street, to justify financially crippling a stranger without a second thought. The scary truth isn't that the internet is some malevolent force that creates monsters out of good people. It's far more unsettling than that. The internet doesn't create the monster. It simply provides the perfect habitat for the one that was already there, dormant, waiting for the lights to go out. It peels back the layers of social conditioning and reveals what we are capable of when we believe no one is watching. The screen becomes a mask. And behind that mask, the Mr. Hyde that lives in all of us is free to play. So, where do we go from here? If the very structure of the internet encourages our worst impulses, are we doomed to a future of increasing digital cruelty and crime? It's a question we'll be exploring throughout this series. We'll look at the psychology, the technology, and the real-world stories of people who crossed the line. Next week, we're going to dive into the case of a man who proved this theory almost perfectly. A man who, by all outside appearances, was a smart, idealistic young guy who wanted to change the world. But in the anonymous depths of the dark web, he became the criminal mastermind known as the Dread Pirate Roberts, building a billion-dollar drug empire called the Silk Road. His name was Ross Ulbricht, and his story is a chilling modern-day fable about the power of the online mask. Subscribe so you don't miss it.